It's the story of my life. I spend all year watching my weight and always let it go over Christmas. Christmas dinner. I've got roast turkey, Yorkshire puds, roast spuds, tons of stuffing. I cannot get enough of it. And then you have the pud, the pies, the pastries, the cheese platters, the chocolate, and not to mention the booze. It's a calorific catastrophe. On an average Christmas day, we consume around 7,000 calories. And if, like me, after all that binging and boozing, you're struggling to get back into your favourite frock...
Actually, this is a two-man jobby.
Then it's time to take control. If your gift to yourself this Christmas was an expanding waistline, and like me, you want to drop a dress size in 2 weeks, then this could be the show for you. We've got a pop-up diet club, 6 dieting divas, and everything you've ever wanted to know about calories to help you shift the pounds in just 14 days. Plus, to prove you can eat delicious food and diet, former England rugby captain turned food fanatic Matt Dawson is cooking up a storm.
I'm convinced that I can create a curry dish that will pretty much half your calorie intake.
We'll also be investigating the food industry and revealing the tricks of the trade. From how supermarkets encourage us all to supersize our shopping.
Millions of pounds go into selling you something you didn't think you wanted, and when you bring it home, you think you ought not to eat, but you probably will anyhow.
To the health food haze that manufacturers create.
You would have to eat 168 slices of bread every week to get your omega-3.
Plus, we'll have an exclusive interview with the man who first took on the tobacco industry and now believes the food industry poses as great a public health threat.
Today, what's the most salient stimuli for millions of people? It's food.
And we'll also be fixing for food addicts.
I like everything about cheese. Its flavour, its smell, its texture.
I struggle with licorice because it's what I eat like all the time.
The moment it touches my tongue, I feel my taste buds come alive.
With tough treatment to confront their obsessions.
What am I doing to my body?
Welcome to my big fat diet show. If you've made a resolution to lose weight this new year, but 5 days in, you're already struggling with it, then stick with me, because I am about to try and drop a dress size, and I've got just 2 weeks to do it in. When it comes to dieting, I'm a firm believer in safety and numbers, so I've recruited Josie, Gail, Debs, Bev, Pam and Lizzie, who together make up our Dieting Divas. Friends for years, they regularly meet at Josie's salon in Chalfont St Peter in Bucks, where they share their dieting woes.
I think we've done every diet, haven't we? Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Cabbage Diet.
The grapefruit diet, Atkins diet.
I've joined the Slimming Club. I was 18 and I'm 43 now, and I've still got to get to goal.
Tell him about your last diet.
Thank you, Gail. I tried these slimming pills, and what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to get rid of a certain percentage of fat. Let's put it this way. The fat just runs straight through me, no matter where I was. It's like an oil slick in the toilet.
They call themselves the Chalfont Chubbies, but want to become the Buckinghamshire Babes by joining me in the challenge to drop a dress size. Before we can get started, every diet has to begin the same way, and that's with the dreaded weigh-in. Sorry, girls. It's time to face the fat! It's the moment of truth. I'm going to go first.
Oh.
9 stone 12. So I could do with getting about £5 off. OK, who's next?
Do you have to say it out?
Yeah,
seriously?
on you get.
12 stone 8.
I reckon you and I could do £5 pretty easily.
Okay, yep.
Do you think you can do that in 14 days?
Definitely. 10 stone 11. I'm 11 stone 10.
Come on, Lissy.
At 13.4, I'd like to lose half a stone.
Hi. I'm 10 stone 7. Oh dear.
9 stone 8.
I think that's great.
No, I'm only 5 foot and a fag end.
Are you ready?
Yep.
It's time to slim. Come on. And slim we will, because we've set ourselves a glamorous goal. In our dressing room of desire lies our Thinspiration 7 fabulous frocks we bought for the party season. Now they're tight around the tummy and tits.
We'd be moving me boob out the way, I can't breathe.
I think it will go, Bev. You might have a little cleavage in your back.
She's got a bottom in her back.
Oh, well.
Actually, this is a two-man jobby.
Oh,
don't.
No, there's a zip there.
No, it's undone. Listen, girls, we've got to get these up in 14 days. I'm not going out with that showing.
No.
Squeezing back into these frocks in just 2 weeks is an ambitious goal, but to make the diet super easy, we've created a pop-up supermarket with a difference. This supermarket is designed to eradicate overeating by stocking everything from staples to our oh-so-favourite treats. And to demonstrate just how fattening our favourite foods really are, everything is packed in 100-calorie portions. In store today, you'll find special 100-calorie offers in all aisles. Head to aisle 1 for 12 Haribo jelly sweets for 100 calories. On offer in aisle 2, half a pack of crinkle cut crisps or 9 Pringles for 100 calories. Or a more satisfying option, 1 very large egg for 100 calories. OK, girls.
Oh, you've got frozen
well. Oh, check it out. Come down. Quickly. Come down, girls. Come down, come down. Everything in store is 100 calories. Let's have a look.
That's 100 calories.
I don't think that's too bad.
Yeah, but you've got to put butter
Well, so you can't have that just without butter.
But look at this. I eat a whole French stick.
You have that much in a day?
Yep.
A whole French stick with butter?
Yep.
Can you show me the pork pie?
Do you eat mini ones or do you eat big ones?
No, minis.
OK, so that pathetic little thing is 100 calories. You have 3?
Yeah.
So again, that's 600 calories. 600 calories in just scoffing 3 of them.
That's ridiculous.
It just goes to show how clueless most of us are when it comes to calorie counting. But we can't hide from how fattening our favourite foods really are if we want to drop a dress size in just 2 weeks. We spend nearly £2,500 a year shopping for food. But what influences our decisions on what we put in our trolleys and our mouths? And how much are we being manipulated by the food industry? Obesity levels in the UK are soaring, and so too are supermarket sales. These days, 9 out of every 10 food purchases happens in the supermarket. And it's no great surprise, really, when you see what's on offer. Whole box for £5. We all like to think we're canny shoppers and have an eye for a bargain, so it's not surprising price promotions account for over 1/3 of sales in supermarkets each week. 75p for 6-pack of crisps. The reams of special offers convince us that the supermarket is our friend, but it's all just clever marketing. They're masters at convincing us to impulse buy food we don't need, and as we get fatter, so do the supermarket profits.
I only meant to go in for a sandwich, actually. No! And yes, I've come out with about £25, but there you go. Happens to me all the time.
Does it?
Absolutely.
So what do you reckon you've bought that you probably didn't really need?
Chocolatey things, chocolate mousse, chocolate biscuits.
Lucy Yates works for the government-backed organisation Consumer Focus. In 2008, Lucy analysed the in-store promotions in the UK's leading supermarkets. She found that in all cases, the massive majority of offers were on junk foods, processed products high in fat, sugar or salt. On this table here, we have got all the in-store promotions from one supermarket of high-fat, high-sugar treats. On this table here. And then on this table here, we've got all the fruit and veg, be it fresh, tinned or frozen. Incredible difference.
What the problem is all of this high fatty, salt and sugary foods that actually, is not very healthy for people. Because the problem with buy one get one free, or bog-offs, is actually they encourage you to kind of buy more than you need. And we all know you've got something in the cupboard, you're going to eat it, it's right there. You've got a packet of biscuits, but actually you've got 2 because it's been buy one get one free.
So why is it that it's sweets, not spinach, that tend to be on offer?
There's lots of brands we know and love that are on promotions all the time, and they're footing the bill for this. But that means that the farmer can't do the same thing. You can't expect someone who grows apples to be able to fund promotions in a supermarket.
Highly processed foods and non-perishable are cheap to make and therefore have higher profit margins. That's why they can afford to promote special offers. And those offers are attractive to us, play on our weaknesses and partly explain why we're all putting on weight. Welcome back to my big fat diet show. I've been joined by 6 dieting divas who, like me, have tried and failed most diets going. But this time we're determined to drop a dress size, and we're setting ourselves the challenge of doing it in just 2 weeks. We've come to a pop-up supermarket with a difference. And to demonstrate just how fattening our favourite foods really are, everything in here is packed in 100-calorie portions. For 100 calories, you could have a small glass of wine. Over in the confectionery section, you get just a third of a Mars bar or 2 Roses chocolates. But you get a bigger portion in the veg section. A pellet of tomatoes or 1 whole kilo of cucumber all come in at 100 calories each. All of our favourite foods are in here, and the sight of them in 100-calorie portions is quite a shock.
That's 100 calories.
Who's partial to a cupcake?
Josie.
Josie?
Oh, Josie, that's 100.
Do you seriously eat cupcakes all the time?
Yeah.
That is a 100-calorie portion.
I can't believe that.
I do like a cup of tea and a cake. What I do is I come up and I think if I just have a little bit at a time, it's not going to matter. But by the end of the day, all these little bits are led up, and before I know it, I've probably eaten the whole lot.
Who's saying that?
What's that? Is that 100-calorie pasta?
I wonder why I'm so fat. I mean, I'd have like 5 times that amount. I would say I eat pasta at least 4 times a week because it's easy, it's quick, it's easy. It's a sort of like it fills you up quite quickly as well.
Oh, that's not bad. 4 pompadons. Oh no, it's 3. Sorry, I miscounted.
3 poppadoms?
Oh, I was hoping it was 4. I just love curries. They're so tasty. I could eat this every night if I could.
We're all here going, why have I put weight on? I can't understand it. I don't eat that badly. Actually, it's because we scoff far too much food. We're about to discover how much we're overeating in all its calorific glory, as these trolleys of shame contain every single item we've gorged on over the last week. How many bottles of wine have you got going on there?
About 4 or 5.
What are these?
They're my curries.
What's this?
My burger and chips.
Lizzie, my love, you're on liquid diet, are you?
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
Pizza, chips, noodles and a burger, all in 24 hours. Wow. What happens to me is I have my booze and then out come the takeaways. I'll go pizza, I'll go curries. An average woman needs around 2,000 calories a day, but our trolleys show that we've each been eating up to 2,500 calories a day. So now it's time to reveal the one rule of this diet club. Your new daily calorie limit is 1,200 calories a day. So you are going to have to halve your daily allowance. In fact, you need to knock off at least 1,000 calories a day. This isn't a long-term diet, this is a short-term weight reduction plan recommended for just 2 weeks. So here are some low-calorie menu ideas to get you started. For breakfast, a sausage sandwich and a piece of fruit. Fill up on poached egg and beans on toast at lunch. And a satisfying salmon pasta dish with a celebratory glass of wine in the evening and sorbet for dessert. This all comes in at 1,200 calories. For information on the diet and the complete 14-day plan, head to channel4.com/food. Let's face it, who doesn't have a weakness when it comes to food? From chocolate and cheese to crisps and cola. But for some, this has become an obsession that's out of control. Tonight, it's chocolate addict Felicity.
I love chocolate like it's my life.
28-year-old mother of 2, Felicity Ridgway lives with her partner Ben in Rochdale in a house that's full to bursting with her favourite food.
I like munchies, I like toffee crisps, I like Aeros. I'd say I eat a good 5 bars of chocolate during the day, and picking at things like Ferrero Rocher, etc., like the little things, Quality Street, Celebrations, until they make me feel sick, and then I have that sicky feeling for a good 5 minutes and then just carry on. The minute it hits my mouth, it like sends like shockwaves through my body, and I just feel happy and relaxed. Excuse me.
But that calming effect doesn't last long. And when the kids are kicking off, Felicity turns to chocolate.
I like Mars bars, I like Lion bars, and I love twirls.
And to make sure she's always stocked up, Felicity gets sneaky.
The veg cupboard. More minstrels. There's our nappy and whites. And then we've got a secret little reusable bag. Stash our levels in. Let Mummy have that. Look at him.
What are you eating?
Nothing.
Don't tell me nothing because you're licking your teeth.
I just got a grape out of the fridge.
She's always eating the chocolate, so we do argue quite a bit about it because she wants to lose weight.
Felicity's chocolate habit has piled on the pounds, and she's now tipping the scales at 16.5 stone.
I'm trying to think what I've done for the last 6 weeks that's made me put nearly 2 stone on. Where's not want that? These pants fit me 2 weeks ago, and now they're digging in.
What are you eating?
Nothing.
Her addiction is also causing problems with partner Ben.
Intimately, me and Ben are nothing. I look awful, I feel awful, I won't get undressed in front of him. I just avoid all contact with him.
Felicity is desperate to ditch her addiction.
I want to give it up more than you could ever imagine. I just want rid of it out of my life for good. Not even just a bar now and again. I want it gone.
Hi, Felicity. I'm Hank.
Help is on the way. Over the next 6 weeks, Felicity will undergo treatment to help her break free of her addictive behaviour under the guidance of clinical psychologist Henk van Bilsen and dietitian Ursula Philpott.
For most of us, food is not just fuel. We have emotional links to food. We eat to relax, we eat to be comfortable, we eat to calm ourselves down. We use food to control our emotions.
It's Felicity's first appointment with Henk, who's treated hundreds of people with similar disorders.
I've always been an emotional person right from childhood. I had my little girl in January 2007 and rejected her straight away.
Do you feel guilty towards your little girl?
Yeah, really guilty. Because I rejected her and I didn't reject my son.
But you were ill. And if you're depressed and you don't get help, you have no control over these feelings. And it sounds like you really blame yourself for that.
Yeah.
When you feel upset and sad and anxious, you want to eat chocolate.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a link between your emotions and the eating of chocolate.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you want to do something about this problem now?
If I don't sort it now, then I'm just going to be even more obese, not being able to play in the park with my children and make life better for all of us.
With the background to her addiction identified, now Henk wants to motivate Felicity to change.
So let's have a look at the amount of chocolate you eat in 1 year.
What am I doing to my body?
Any idea how many kilos of chocolate that is?
I don't want to know. This is enough.
This is really, it's hitting at home for you.
In fact, it's a staggering 250 kilos, a quarter of a tonne of chocolate in a year.
Any idea how much money you spend on a year on chocolate?
I'd love to know that.
Yes?
Yeah.
That would be £2,500. It would be a nice holiday, wouldn't it, for the family?
Food addiction can be successfully treated with cognitive behavioural therapy, By making small changes to our behaviour, we can start to make big changes to our eating habits. Back home, Felicity puts into action a plan devised by Henk, which will help her to gradually reduce her chocolate consumption. Every time she has an urge to eat chocolate, she must first eat a piece of fruit.
So I get my orange, I eat it next to the fridge.
Keep a food diary of her progress.
Today so far I haven't had any chocolate, that's my first one.
And when stress levels get too high, take time out to relax rather than reach for the Rolos. Back in the 100 Calorie Club, we're facing food demons of our own as we embark on a skinny supermarket sweep. We're allowed just 12 of these 100 calorie portions per day, so narrowing it down takes some planning. I am partial to a bit of smoked salmon, so I'm thinking lunch. I might go for 1 egg. I'm suddenly realising you've got to be massively organised and really think about your menu for the day. I think that's a bargain. 100 calories, brilliant. 7, 8.
Do you want some peanut butter?
Yes. I'm going to have that on a bagel, I think, for my breakfast.
And some determination.
I'm not going near pasta because that's my downfall, and if I start eating it, I won't stop.
Meanwhile, Lizzie and Bev are skimping on the food to make space for some booze.
I'm just thinking that I won't have this oil and then I could have a glass of wine instead.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a that's a waste. I'll have cava.
Yeah, I think I'll go for the red wine.
And one thing's clear, you get much more bang for your buck in the fruit and veg department. But that means cooking.
Because I live on convenience foods, I don't know how to cook.
I'd love a homemade mushroom soup.
Perfect.
How do I do that?
With your mushrooms,
add some onion and garlic to flavour it.
I'll tell you what, Debs.
What?
There's not a lot here, is there?
No.
I could cry. No cake, no chocolate and no alcohol.
When it comes to dieting, if you fail to plan your meals, you could be planning to fail. So how have our ladies got on?
You've got quite a lot going on there, Lizzie.
Yeah, I've got a lot of veg.
A lot of veg. So what
snack on that.
What are you planning on making?
I'm planning on making some...
You're not sure,
No.
The approach to this is to be super organised. Super organised, and we're going to have to really think, aren't we, about what we're going to eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner every day. It's going to be a challenge, but it's only 14 days, and at the end of the day, if we want to drop a dress size in 2 weeks, I think it's going to be worth it. Yes? High five? One more, everyone? So with our 1,200 calorie per day shop done, it's off home to prepare for the diet, which starts in earnest tomorrow. To make sticking to 1,200 calories simple, plan your meals. For breakfast, you could have a scrumptious BLT, a filling cheese and mushroom omelette for lunch, and lamb chops with sweet potato and veg for your evening meal. A fat-busting menu for just under 1,200 calories. It's day 1 of our 2-week drop a dress size diet, and we've all got to get used to the new limit of 1,200 calories a day.
I'm starving. Food. Oh, what am I going to have?
I'm beginning to feel a bit peckish now, and this would be my time where I would reach for a bag of crisps.
Because I hadn't really thought about my menu. You know, it was a bit, I was flagging at sort of lunchtime. The dog's looking quite appetising at the moment. It's not a lot of meat on him, but you know, it's probably better than this.
Whilst Lizzie's problem is not enough food in the kitchen, for some of us, it's a case of not enough cooks in the kitchen.
I don't know where to start. You know, I'm the convenience food and Vindaloo queen.
You know, I'm very like Debs. It's so much easier to kind of grab something convenient.
I've never made a homemade soup before. They say it's easy, so if it's easy, then I can do it. In they go.
Must be the only person in the land that can burn spinach. Let's put... Whoops. See what I mean? Can't cook.
Put a little bit of that in. It's supposed to be like a mushroomy colour. My everyday seasoning that I've just put in my mushroom soup is Caribbean!
get my smoked salmon on top. It's really making me think about the calorific value of things, and who'd have thought that I could get 4 massive bags of spinach for 100 calories, but only 1 egg?
Yeah, I think I would like to maybe learn to cook a bit more, be a bit more adventurous. I need some lessons in cooking.
But what about today's soup, Debbie?
I would prefer a curry.
It's day 3 of the diet and back to the 100 Club, where culinary assistance is on its way. You see, sticking to 1,200 calories a day doesn't have to be bland and boring, and my Big Fat Diet Show has got the perfect man to prove it. Super fit rugger bugger and food fanatic, Matt Dawson.
I come from a background of sport. The fuel is important, that goes in my body, of course, but it's got to be flavoursome. You can't go for 10, 12 years doing sport and not enjoying your food.
So me and the Dieting Divas are getting a lesson in low-cal cooking, and we've challenged Matt to come up with a super skinny korma curry that can kick Deb's takeaway habits into touch.
I reckon I can do that curry for about 400 calories, but I will not sacrifice the flavour. Taste is really, really important. So I'm not thinking this is a dietary dish. I want this to be a dish that you can take away. Do you like that? Yeah, you like that? You're very slow to pick that one up.
Will it be delivered?
Debbie. Oil, groundnut oil. Most curries are with ghee. Quite a big calorie difference between the two. OK, so I just want half a tablespoon. I'm being quite precise.
So far, so low-cal, Matt. But how are you going to give that korma its classic creamy flavour?
In the korma, there's a lot of ground almonds, and they are high in calories. The way to get around that is by using chopped up onions, and then we're going to blitz them so it creates a paste. I mean, the difference with that is about 80 calories.
Oh, clever.
We're getting to the real crux of why this is going to be a low-calorie curry. No cream. And the difference is I'm going to use yoghurt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, is that going to be...
Well, no, there was a mixed response there. There was a, ooh, nice. And then Pam went, ooh, no. OK, the difference between using Greek yoghurt compared to cream, 700!
Yeah!
700, girls!
So there you go, Debs. That's where you're porking up. It's in that double cream and the ghee.
OK, now, girls, here comes the flavour. I've got nutmeg, cinnamon, curry powder and some garam masala.
Oh, OK.
Onto the heat. I've got to do this yoghurt a spoonful at a time so it doesn't split. I'm going to put in the turkey. You can see how lean that meat is, girls, can't you? I'm not going to dry fry or even fry in a little bit of oil. I'm going to, well, in effect, poach it, because that, again, brings the calorie content down.
I'm not being funny, Matt. I need to eat now, girls.
OK.
Yes. Yeah, right. It's a taster portion for us, but don't worry. A healthy plate of this skinny curry with basmati rice comes in at 475 calories. Right, girls, before it goes cold, result.
Does smell lovely.
Oh, it smells really good. I would put some hotter spices in, but the taste is fantastic.
It's really good.
The yogurt gives it a bit of a twang, which is actually nicer than the cream.
For Matt's slimline korma recipe or more information on the drop a dress size diet, including the 14-day plan, head to channel4.com/food.
Hi, you.
Mum of 2, Felicity, is on a 6-week course to break her addiction to chocolate.
I want to give it up more than you could ever imagine.
But Felicity's made the drastic decision to cut out chocolate almost completely, with some unpleasant side effects.
I started off with having really severe headaches to the point that my head felt like it was swelling, and then I started getting really severe stomach cramps.
So she's sent to dietitian Ursula Philpott, who explains why chocolate can play havoc with her body and mind with a chocolate box designed to break her connection to confection.
What we've got here is some actual chocolates, but we've also got some of the ingredients. This one in the middle here, this is cocoa powder. This is the one that gives the chocolate quite a cocoa-y taste. but it's also the one that contains caffeine. So in an average sort of chocolate bar, there's around 60 milligrams.
Right.
If you think about a cup of coffee can be anything between about sort of 60 and 100 milligrams. So it's not far off a cup of coffee.
Right.
Just the caffeine on its own explains your symptoms, to be honest.
Right.
You certainly get severe headaches, the shakes, feeling low, feeling lacking in energy, and even muscle cramps when you withdraw from caffeine.
Okay.
This is what we call cocoa fat, or cocoa solids. So this is a saturated fat that you find in chocolate. And it's also what gives it sort of the typical chocolate flavour or the sort of cocoa taste.
I knew there was saturated fat in chocolate, but I never knew it was like in that kind of form.
In here we've got some vegetable oil. That's called unsaturated fat.
Right.
People who have too much saturated fat in their diet and not enough of this one can suffer from low mood and depression.
Right, that makes sense. It's quite disgusting, actually, especially seeing this bit, because it looks like a block of cheese.
It does.
So to think that I'm just like placing that into my mouth on a daily basis, it's just not nice.
With Felicity resolved to steer clear of the chocolatier, Ursula suggests new foods to help her mind and body stay in balance.
What we know from studies is that in the long run, people who eat diets that are high in fruit and vegetables, high in fish, and are generally healthy, a Mediterranean-style diet, have the best mental health. They have the least problems with depression and low mood.
Foods like nuts, cottage cheese and turkey contain amino acids that help beat depression. Oily fish like salmon and mackerel contain omega-3.
If you don't have these in your diet, your brain doesn't function properly.
While whole grains release energy into the body slowly, helping beat hunger as well as stabilising your mood.
I didn't realise how much food could change your mood, and it makes a lot of sense to me now, knowing that.
Meanwhile, my dieting divas have been foregoing their sweet treats left, right and centre. But hairdresser Josie has a one-track mind.
In the good old days, I would have gone down and bought loads of cake by now. But of course I can't. Instead, I've got bleeding carrot. It's all right, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's carrot and hummus, not carrot cake.
But self-restraint with snacking isn't all my divas are doing to conquer the calories.
Right.
You let pump. It's
bumming. We've all been given calorie counting watches to keep track of just how much we burn.
So I've just burnt off 11 calories going up and down.
Whilst the dieting divas keep burning calories, I'm heading back to the 100 Club. We've opened the doors of our pop-up supermarket to members of the public.
Been surprised by that you can have more red wine maybe than white wine with the same amount of calories.
But in the real world, calorie-controlled shopping isn't so easy, especially at lunchtime. Could you rank these lunches according to their calorific value? There's a mozzarella wrap, a cheese and pickle baguette, a sausage roll, a double cheeseburger, and a meat-packed bagel. So we've picked on Tim to rate these takeaways from number 5 for the highest calorie option to 1 for the lowest. So, number 5, highest calorie content, what will you go for?
Probably the double cheeseburger.
Okay, whack it on. The Burger King double cheeseburger, you think? It's an obvious choice, isn't it? Yeah? Okay, number 4?
Probably this, because it's got so much, it's got a lot of bread and a lot of cheese on it. Probably
Okay,
that.
Tim. Number 3, which would you go for?
The turkey bacon sun-dried tomato bagel.
Okay. So number 2, you're left with the sausage roll and the Waitrose wrap.
Yeah. I'll probably put the Waitrose wrap, actually.
Which leaves us with the Greggs sausage roll as the
Yeah, it's not a real good option, I don't think, but probably a bit smaller, I guess, a bit of a smaller portion.
So that's Tim's chart, but does everyone agree?
I put the wrap as the lowest, actually, because of the bread.
Yeah, all right, I'll change it.
Are you going to swap them around?
Yep, I'm going to swap them.
So the Waitrose mozzarella and tomato wrap as the lowest.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're happy? All right. I can reveal that the lowest calorie food on there is, in fact, the Greggs sausage roll, which comes in at only 240 calories. It may be low calorie, but at 60% fat, it's more of a heart-stopping lunch than a hearty one. In at number 2, it's the Burger King double cheeseburger, which only has 465 calories in it. Well, bugger me, who'd have thought this double cheese treat would be lower cal than the bagel? I've got to tell you, you were absolutely bang on with the Bagel Factory turkey, bacon, sun-dried tomato bagel. It's got 533 calories. Beware of the low-fat label bagel. This little lunch can pack a punch. The tomato and mozzarella wrap, it's got a staggering 614 calories. Approach the lunchtime trap of a wrap with caution. I can reveal that at the highest, we have got the pret-a-manger cheddar and pickle baguette, 779 calories. Yep, that's a whopping 779 calories for a cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked that that's got a lot more calories than the double cheeseburger. Yeah, it's shocked.
Step away from the baguette. So far, I've found supermarkets are piling on the profits and we're piling on the pounds. I'm about to find out how the supermarkets persuade us to buy more and more food. What makes me make the choices that I do, as and when I'm wheeling around with my trolley? I'm going to take these glasses off, pop these on. I'm doing an experiment using the latest technology. Wearing a pair of video glasses to record my every movement in a supermarket I don't know, my purchasing impulses and decisions can be analysed. An hour later, I'm 11 bags of shopping heavier. And yes, I've bought more than I intended to. Dr. David Lewis is a neuroscientist and expert in shopping psychology who works with food retailers to help them maximise their sales.
They pay people like myself to measure every single reaction of a shopper, how their minds are working. They pay people called retail geographers to lay out the stores. They pay retail anthropologists to study how people behave.
So what does he make of my weekly shop?
You're entering what is called a decompression zone in a supermarket. This is a space between the entrance and the first shelves where they're selling you stuff. Everything in a supermarket environment is designed to create a mood of passivity. So the lighting, the humidity, the temperature, all designed to make it a very comfortable place in which to graze, a bit like a cow grazing on a sunny meadow. First thing you came to look at right at the entrance were some special offers on blueberries. You'll nearly always find that the vegetables and the fruit are near the entrance. Fruit and veg look much better in natural light. Secondly, it gives you kind of an idea that you're going to buy healthy eating. Yes. However much stodge you buy later on, oh, fruit and veg, that's surely got to be healthy. So it gives you a psychological boost. Normally when we shop, we tend to favour the right-hand aisles, because most of us are right-handed. We'll shop with our dominant hand to take things off the shelf. So those are the shelves which have the highest premium, where the suppliers will spend the most money to buy that position. Because, you know, these products didn't just get on the shelves
by accident.
Oh, no, they paid. They paid what is called a bung to get the prime position on shelves. And the prime position would be at eye level, possibly on the right-hand aisle, or it might be on what are called the end caps. And these are the shelves at the end of each aisle. You can see it from all angles, so it's a very good position. They'll also pay often quite a lot of money for promotions. Bog off, buy one, get one free. These are great, but they do mean you will probably buy more food than you want, which means when you get home, you will probably eat more food than you want. So you may be saving pounds on the till, but you'll actually be putting pounds on your weight, on your body. Now you're going past the Kit Kat.
I mean, David, this is what's a bit weird about this, is I would never normally really buy chocolate like that, but I became slightly seduced by... They're £2!
More than slightly seduced. Millions and millions of pounds go into the single aim of selling you something you didn't think you wanted, and when you bring it home, you think you ought not to eat, but you probably will anyhow.
Next time you see a promotion, think about it. Do you want to save pounds on your wallet or on your waistline? 6 weeks ago, mum of two Felicity Ridgway was eating 5 kilos of chocolate a week. But with help from clinical psychologist Henk van Bilsen and dietitian Ursula Philpott, she's not eaten any chocolate for a month and she's already seeing results.
The last time I stood on these scales, I was 16.5 stone, 15 stone 11. My life has changed quite a bit, to be honest. The more weight that I lose, the more confident and easy I'll feel. And me and Ben are getting on a lot better, well, most of the time.
Tonight, partner Ben is going to put her to the ultimate test.
We're going out for a meal in a pub. One of the main things on the menu there is the chocolate fudge cake and custard. So I think that really will put her to the test.
Ben's brought Felicity to one of the family's favourite places to eat locally.
Thank you.
She doesn't know it, but we've set up a hidden camera to record her ordering. And temptation's in her way, because the menu's packed with chocolate treats.
Want to eat dessert?
Thank you.
We've got to share one. The mother of all sundaes, the chocolate sundae is great.
Right.
What are you having?
Well, chocolate. What? Chocolate fudge cake, chocolate rocky brownie, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate.
But will she give in to temptation? Or won't she?
I'll have the rhubarb crumble and custard, please. Yeah.
Success! Despite a menu crammed with chocolate goodies, Felicity steers clear. Her addiction is finally under control.
I never thought that it would be possible for me to give up chocolate because it was that much of a part of my life. It was like another family member.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm proud of myself. To be able to give it up is a miracle for me, to be honest.
Let's face it, dropping a dress size in just 2 weeks is no mean feat. It's day 4 of our challenge, and for me and my dieting divas, it's the terrifying moment of truth. The first weigh-in. The dreaded scales. Let's see. Just 4 days ago, I weighed in at 9 stone 12, but I've been sticking to our 1,200 calorie a day limit, all to squeeze back into my favourite dress. She's lost a pound! It might not be much, but at least I'm heading in the right direction. You ready, Pam?
No, not really.
Go on, let's go for it.
Okay.
My fingers are crossed. Look at you, you've lost 3 pounds!
Oh, I'm a happy girl.
All right, Debs, can you beat that one, lady?
I've lost it from the tops of my legs, I know that.
Well done, you!
Thank you. Yeah, well played.
We're well on our way to slimming success, and up next, it's Lizzie.
What? I've put on 2 pounds.
No! That can happen. Do not panic. Don't panic. You're right. Come here.
I thought sure she would have lost. It looks like she's lost it.
A huge disappointment for Lizzie, but we've still got 3 more ladies battling the bulge. Josie.
10-4.
Okay, Beverly. What were you before? Can you remember?
11-10.
Here we go.
No way! 11. So how many pounds have you lost?
6 pounds.
6 pounds. You know, can I just say, you've dropped a dress size in 4 days. That's proof then that actually if you limit your calories, you do lose weight. That is incredible. Between us all, we've lost nearly 1.5 stone in just 4 days. But we've got a lot of hard work ahead of us if we've any chance of squeezing into those gorgeous gowns and winning our drop a dress size challenge. Before embarking on this or any diet, seek medical advice first from your GP. For more information on the drop a dress size diet, including whether it could be suitable for you, then head to channel4.com/food.